So it is November 1st, which means it's NaNoWriMo. I managed to get up early today, so it is currently 6:15 in the morning. And other than a family call we've got today, the plan is to write as much as possible with as many live streams as possible. Finding NaNoWriMo kickoff streams that are timed well for the UK audience I'm struggling a little bit. There's probably loads out there, I just can't find them. That's going to be the plan today, just try and get in as many words as possible. I have tomorrow off from work, so I can either, if I don't get quite as much done as I would have liked today, I can either do some tomorrow, so I don't have to push myself today, or if I can go absolutely straight through and just go mad today, then tomorrow I can either recover a little bit or I can go through some of my other goals for the week. I have deliberately tried to pare down some of my other goals for the week, so I'm not requiring as much from myself this month. The only thing with attempting to write this early in the morning is that I had to spend some time hyping myself up. So I've got coffee. I've gone for more caffeine in my coffee than normal. And I've also spent some time listening to a bit of Hamilton. Non-stop seems to be my hype song before I'm writing. That's the plan. Write as much as possible today. The more I can get done today, the more ahead of myself I can be, the more likely I am to hit the full draft here. Because I know that I did over 50,000 in a draft last month. I managed to do it within 3 weeks, but what I'm worried about is that I'm going to be burning myself out because I've done so many drafts now in a row. So I did October and November. I was drafting book 3 over September and October, so this will be my 4th month drafting in a row. Usually, with my normal year plan, I would draft for 2 months, finish a draft, and then I'd have a month where I'd be outlining and planning the next book. So I'd always have like a gap every couple of months. So I'm just starting to worry that I might start doing this draft, and even though I know I can hit the amount of words I need to hit, it's whether or not my brain will allow me to or whether it will start to burn itself out a little bit. I don't know what music to put on because I don't think there's streams going on at the moment. I could be wrong. I might have a quick search for any streams to write with. Far too early in the morning, but let's give it a go. So I might have been a bit slower than I normally would have been over the last couple of weeks. I've done a 50-minute sprint and I've managed to do 1,972. So I have at least hit the NaNoWriMo goal for the day, which is grand. And I'm attempting to do a kind of slight recap-y kind of chapter. So you know how sometimes with series there'll be like the next book in the series will try and add in some context for the last ones, so that in case you take a long break in between a couple of books you can kind of remember where you were. So I'm trying to do some of that stuff, which is giving me a little bit extra words because it's essentially going back through bits and pieces that already happened, so that's not too bad. Refilled my coffee mug, not that I needed to, it was halfway full still, but it's getting a bit cold. Try and get back to it. I think I'm not feeling it quite as much today as I have done on some of my other bigger days, so we'll see how today goes. I've still got plenty of time to get NaNoWriMo sorted. I have also just come across something that I think needs a lot of world building looking into. So I've got like a little map that I made of the sort of space empire that I'm working in, and I've got it kind of organised out into sectors, kind of similar in the way that they function to like a London tube map, as in the middle sector is obviously where the empire kind of sits and has its main power base, and then it kind of goes out in like little rings. So the first few books they've been essentially in the furthest sector away, so sector 1, the very outside of everything, and then they're starting to make their way closer in. In the last book I said that they were just going into sector 2, but in my map one of the planets I made them visit last book is in sector 2. So I need to have a think. Maybe I've got too few like planet systems. Maybe I need to expand it a bit more. I did a little trick where, because I've got lots and lots and lots of different kinds of dice, I assigned each dice a particular thing and then just rolled on a bit of paper. So I think like D4s were suns and I had less of those, and then a lot more planets. I had some that were like gas giants, then I had ones that were like terrestrial, and then on the dice themselves it would tell me what kind of planet they were. So for the terrestrial one, which I think was a D12, I kind of went with like snow planets and desert planets and land planets, things that as they naturally were, and then the empires terraformed them, so they're obviously more hospitable now than they might have been before. And I liked that exercise, but I think maybe I gave myself too few planets to be a reasonable like empire and what I'm doing with the amount of different kind of races and magic types that I've got. What I've just done is put myself in some time after I read through all my drafts. In my plan I've just added in something which will be in August probably, which is essentially some words just to go through the overall world building and fix a bunch of stuff. So fix any inconsistencies I find, sort out the map, name all the planets. Because when I'm in my writing flow and I'm drafting, sometimes I don't name the planet, I just say it's like so-and-so's home planet, or I say the planet that we picked up so-and-so from. and then I either need to go back and see if I did ever name the planet and didn't write it down, which sounds like me, or I've not actually named it ever and need to give it a name. The other thing I could do, and I'm tempted by, because of the way the Empire is kind of trying to repress other people's like culture and stuff down, is for them to have essentially given them kind of numbers or something. So each sector, and then within the system, and there's kind of like a designation, and that's kind of slipped into colloquialism. That could be a way around having to name as many planets, because I'm not good at naming things at the best of times. So yeah, I got my coffee. We'll try this again for another sprint at least. I think I can do a few today. It would be nice if I could get through to chapter 5, because that gives me my first 3 chapters, which are kind of the main story. Then I get a chapter in the part of the crew that have been separated, and then I'll get a chapter in the flashback, and that'll kind of give me a starting point for all of them if I can get through that. I'd say that'd probably be at least 8,000. That wouldn't be too bad for the day. I'd take that as a win if I got it. It is still the 1st of November. I have done 6 hours of writing so far, and I've managed 11,700 words so far. This is already, even if I don't continue, my highest scoring first day of NaNoWriMo I think ever. I think in most cases I hit maybe at max like a 3,000 word day on the first day, but I am kind of smashing it today. When I put my outline into my dabble scene cards yesterday, I had a read through it and I was okay with it, but I was very much thinking that my main storyline might be way too boring. I said this in my October vlog, but I'm finally coming to the conclusion that I am a character-driven writer, which means I've got a lot of scenes that don't feel like they're progressing the plot. They feel like the way I've written them in the scene card is so-and-so and so-and-so talk about this, and it doesn't feel like the plot's going to go anywhere, and it feels like it could be really boring. But then when I've been writing them, I've found other things coming out. Like, I've started adding stuff to people's stories that I didn't realise was there, and the character whose flashbacks I'm having now, I had a vague idea of their family a while back, and then an even more vague idea of their family when I was writing the outline for them. And then now, there are like 3 scenes from his flashback point of view, and I've added a whole other family member I wasn't expecting to add. I've added some childhood trauma. My plan is to write for a little bit longer, but there is also another part of me thinking that if I don't manage to today, that's fine. But actually, if I don't manage it today, I could do this again tomorrow because I've got the day off from work. So I could do a 6-hour stint again. But the thing is, if this is the beginning of the end and I don't do much more and I stop, 11,000 words for a day is still a lot better than I was managing over, like, before September. There was just no way you'd have got me doing that in a day. Still making progress. Might not be exactly the progress I want to make, because there's a part of me thinking that if I can do almost 12,000 words in 6 hours, which is about right, because I was doing about over a sort of 2,000 for 50-minute sprints and 10 minutes off. So if I can do another 4, I could have a 20k day. I've got to stop saying this to myself. But there's a part of me that's like, if I got 20k on the first day, then theoretically, if I was aiming for 70k, the rest of the month just becomes a normal NaNoWriMo. That's nothing compared to what I was thinking of myself this morning when I was brewing coffee, where I was like, ooh, if I did like a 15 to 18,000 word day today and tomorrow, need to be careful, have the potential to really push myself here, and that could be really good, but it could also mean that I go into my last few days at my job completely burnt out, just really, really tired, and I can't really afford to do that because I need to make sure I hand over everything correctly. So I'm also thinking, what seemed to work well in the last few times is after lunch, moving my location. I might come and sit in the living room, but also my partner might want to come and use the living room. So if that's the case, I might end up writing in the bedroom, in bed. Or is that dangerous? Because I'm tired as it is, and it's not even midday yet. Shouldn't have started as early as I did. We got some leftover Halloweeny sweets, so I might take some of those and go and try and use them as little rewards for the last sort of sprint or so. Just talking for talking's sake. Okay, cool. That's the plan. I'm gonna get maybe some water, bunch of sweets, and go back and try and do a bit more, and then I'll have some lunch and see how I feel. Okay, so it's still the 1st. And we are now in the living room, and we're going to stay in the living room. And I wonder if anyone can work out what the pattern is. So I have put on the candles. I've got live spins up on the TV. Got a coffee with me, although it's completely decaf. And my plan is maybe... I might regret this. My plan at the moment is to do another 3 hours, which will take me to about 8 o'clock. I managed 6.5 hours before I went for my sort of lunch break and to chat with family and stuff. So it would be ideal if I could get 3.5 hours in so that I could meet 10 hours today. Does the maths of that work? If I can do that that sort of 3.5 hours this evening, can hit 10 hours, and it would mean that I hopefully are significantly ahead of myself, because usually now I can do, on average, quite easily 2,000 in a kind of 50-minute span. So I'm watching live streams at the moment that are sort of Pomodoro things, so they're 25 minutes. So 2 of those is my equivalent, which should be fine. And then that means that, because I'm about 12,500 now, could be at least to 18,000. Maybe, if I kind of pushed it, might be able to get to 20,000. Then tomorrow I could just do like one sprint, try and keep my foot in the door, because I want to try and keep writing as regularly as possible. But then I could also, because I've got the day off from work, get a load of my other goals set up and ready, so that for the rest of the week I can focus on getting a few more in. I haven't done that many sort of time-lapsey bits. That might be the big problem with doing these weekly. I don't record as much on a weekly basis. I record quite a bit when you look at the month as a whole, but got some sprints on, got some candles on, got coffee, got my Chromebook, gonna try not to fall asleep. And I think I want to aim for, let's say I want to aim for 15,000. Because then if I smash it, I smash it. If I hit 15,000, that's grand. And if I don't, I've still done loads. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm going to call it here. It is coming up to 6:30. I've done 8 hours worth of writing. And I've just managed to get over the 15,000 word mark. So I did 15,300 today, which I'm going to take as a win because I'm so tired. So been interesting though. I've managed to get to start getting into the fun and games section, which does slightly worry me that this might be too short. But I do think I tend to get this way with Act 1s. My Act 1s tend to be a lot less descriptive, and they're kind of just going into some of the details. So I need to go back in and add more to that, I think. But even if that is Act 1, like 15k, and then my Act 2 is like double that, and my Act 3 is the same, I'm still looking at 60k. So I'm not massively worried about it. And similar to the last draft I did for the last month, this is feeling a little bit like it's not quite zero draft. Might need some tweaking, but I think I have to call it because I was looking at my words per minute. So this morning my first sprint didn't go above the 40 word per minute average, which I think was fair. I was knackered. But then other than that, everything's been at least 45 words per minute until the last 2 sessions. I've been doing kind of mixes of different numbers. I started off with a 50-minute, then I've done a load of 25 minutes today. Did some 17s and some 18s just to try and keep me going in the middle of the day. But they were always above that 45 words per minute. And then the last 2, which was a 25-minute one I just did before and an 11-minute one I just finished, try and get exactly to 8 hours because I just wanted to make that work and get over the 15,000. Those 2 were at 41 words per minute. So I am definitely slowing back down. Definitely a little bit tired and kind of just want to chill now. So I'm not entirely sure what I plan to do tomorrow. I think I want to see how I feel, because quite often when I do these big writing days, I think I've said this before, I can't then write huge amounts the next day. But there is a part of me wondering whether I could write something, even if it's like a 1 25-minute sprint, or if I could get 1 50-minute sprint out. There's also a very, very small part of me, very ambitious part of me, that's thinking if I could get to another 10k tomorrow, I could get halfway through Nano in 2 days. Why do I have these thoughts? Because it didn't take me long to get to the 10k. Yeah, so it was about five and a bit hours. I'm going to put that thought on the back burner because that might cause myself to burn out. I'm going to ignore that for a little bit. That thought's going to fester in the back of my head somewhere. What I am going to do though is probably go make myself some kind of big mug of tea or something. I think I might keep my candles on and watch some YouTube on the sofa for a little bit, or go and read. Could do that as well. And definitely go and tick 8 hours off of my 12 hours of writing this week. I don't know if I said, so last month I planned in 10 hours of writing each week, and I managed to get the draft done and the outline just. So what I've planned in this month is to do 12 hours a week, but the idea of it is that this week it'll be all writing, but then next week it will be 10 hours of writing with 2 hours of outlining. Same for the third week. And then the final week it'll be 8 hours of writing and 4 hours of outlining. I struggle to think up all of the possible things that could happen in an outline in a week. I think that's not giving myself enough time. So by stretching it out, I know that, like, for example, if I start outlining next week, I won't be as solid in the current draft unless I've got mad ways through. Like, I won't necessarily know where this book absolutely ends, because I do sometimes go a little bit off outline. But what I could do is start trying to put in some of the big like big plot points, big overarching things, or just plopping down some ideas, or just even just sitting and brainstorming some things out. And then when I come to it in later weeks, I might be able to make sense of it, put it in some order, and see how that works. Could even see how I feel, but I could maybe do some of the more kind of fun, quote unquote, fun goals. Not that writing isn't fun, but by this point of the day, it's not. Could go and find like some writing study to do, or just sit and play some piano or something. That might be nice. Relax a bit. I think I can say I've earned it. I do need to make sure I keep up in the week though, because these big writing days are excellent, but they're going to wear thin at some point down the line. That's me. I'm signing off for the day. But I think I said this earlier, but that is definitely, without a doubt, most successful first NaNoWriMo day. This is usually the kind of day I'd have towards the end in a panic. It feels kind of nice to do it at the beginning, where I'm still kind of running through the act ones, and I'm not doing it under huge amounts of stress of, oh my god, I'm about to fail this thing, I need to do it right now. It's more of a getting ahead of myself thing, which is kind of nice. Fasting. Please ignore this. I don't know what it is. Maybe I might be potentially stressing myself out. It is the 3rd of November today, so the 3rd day of NaNoWriMo, and as predicted, I did not write at all yesterday after the really big day on Sunday. With October having been a month where all of my weekends I was fairly busy with stuff, as in I was doing lots of writing, I needed a bit of time off from it all. So yesterday I didn't do any writing at all. Didn't do anything at all. It was really nice. I did things, but mostly just relaxed a bit from it all. Played like some Sims and things. But so yeah, today I woke up this morning and did some editing of the stuff that I recorded for the vlog yesterday, and then I did some writing that wasn't particularly good. I think I did like 20 minutes, and I think I got like 600 words in, which isn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it isn't my usual standards. So, and I wasn't feeling like the scenes I was writing were making any sense or coming up right, so they might need some revision. And then after work, I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to attempt an hour's sprint, which I'm starting to think might not be able to be considered a sprint. Considering I've been doing 50-minute sprints and it's been working out pretty well for me, I thought I'd give the idea of a 60-minute sprint a go. And I got 3,000 words in it, so I'm not mad at it. I might do it fairly more often, because if I'm in the right headspace and I could do a 50-minute fairly easily, it's only like a little bit more to get to a 60-minute. Now I think if I tried to do a 60-minute this morning when I was really tired and I could only get 20 minutes in and it wasn't going to work, that would have gone horrendously. But I think I'll know when I can't manage a 60-minute. If I could manage a 60-minute like fairly regularly, then I get 3,000 words done, which during NaNoWriMo is double the daily word count. So it's probably more of a case of whether I get time tomorrow to write, to see if how frequently I can do this. Because tomorrow we wake up early and we go down to pick up food shopping in the morning. That's just a bit of our routine now. And then after work we'll have a little bit of time before our D&D game, but we usually use that to make food and stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to do any more today. I might do some video editing instead, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. It is Saturday the 7th of November. I've finally re-dyed my hair. So I feel a little bit more like myself. I've not written since Tuesday for various different reasons. Wednesday I couldn't really think of anything other than constantly refreshing the map of the US election, seeing what's happening. Getting a little bit stressed out by it. But and then Thursday and Friday I was using a lot of my energy to kind of hand over at work and make sure that I had everything done. And then yesterday I had to do a little trip to go and pick up some equipment for my new job, so I was doing a couple of buses and freaked me out a little bit. But and then last night me and my partner just curled up and we were watching all the Marvel films in order. So we watched Age of Ultron, we're on to now, and had some dinner and just chilled, which was nice. But it is Saturday, and if that means anything on this channel, that means writing. Because I don't really do it other times now. I do occasionally in the week, but not a huge amount. And because I haven't written for quite a few days now, I need to make sure that I am writing today to try and keep up with it. Don't know how much I will write. Because I had such a good day last Sunday in terms of hours, I only need to write like 2 hours to hit my goal, but I'm thinking if I can do maybe 4, maybe even closing in on 5, I might be able to get to like 7 or 8k, which would get me over 25,000, which would get me half of a book written in a week. I should get to like 25,000 which would be half of a NaNoWriMo done for the first week. And as long as I don't get complacent, then I can carry on next week. 25,000 is not going to happen again in other weeks. But if I could do 25,000 this week and then maybe 15 over the next couple of weeks, then I'd get to at least 55,000, which would get me through the Nano. And then I've just got to see how much more I've got left. But I think big Saturdays is going to have to be my thing for a while, aren't they? They're definitely becoming a thing on this channel, which is interesting. Maybe 5 hours, see how it goes. At least the morning, and then I might try and be nicer to myself this afternoon. I might try and do some video editing for the week, and I haven't got that many clips, although I did a fair few clips last Sunday, so we might have enough for a decent vlog, so that I can get my the first video out tomorrow for my first week of NaNoWriMo. I had got down on my list to try and do a certain number of steps 2 days a week, because I'm realising, because I'm very desk based for my 9-to-5 job, and then around my 9-to-5 job I am writing or video editing or doing online learning courses. Everything is just centred around this desk, and the chair I've got at the moment is quite old, probably needs replacing, and is not necessarily the best thing for me to be sat in all day. So my body is feeling like really tight in my shoulders and stuff, and my legs especially. One of the things I was going to try and do this week is try and get up and move more in certain days. Because the other thing, actually, I would like to try and do some writing today and some writing tomorrow. So rather than having a big manic day of this, unless it goes really, really well, unless I get really, really stuck in the world, and unless I'm really driven to keep writing today, I'd rather do maybe closer to 9-10k and then see if I could do the same tomorrow. I'm gonna put that thought down because I'm at 19, so if I got 10k both days I get to 39. Anyway but today I'm just gonna try and be a bit nicer to myself, because this week's been tough. And I know that tomorrow, and I'm sure that Monday is going to go absolutely fine. I know there's a part of me tomorrow that will get a little bit nervous and start worrying a little bit, so I don't want to push myself this weekend if I can help it. I'd like to get some things done, and it might be a good distraction, but there's no point pushing myself too far. Going to potentially put on a pot of coffee and then get myself a little bit settled and just see what I can do today. It's not the end of the world if I don't get a huge amount of words in. Like, it's fine, I'm ahead, I can do that. Yeah, that's a little bit of the aim for today. We'll see what happens. I also realise I haven't got any like nice typing footage, so it's gonna be potentially a weird one. I think I'm not feeling bad, but I'm not feeling quite right. Does that make sense? So for some reason the hour idea is slightly terrifying me this morning. Maybe I need to start slower. Maybe I go find some Pomodoros to do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and work my way up rather than throwing myself in. First things first, coffee. It is about midday now. We're going to stop and have some lunch. I haven't done as much writing as I would have wanted to, but I have got to 25,000 words in the book. So that's kind of exciting. Slight problem in that I am closing in on the midpoint, like I'm maybe like 5 or 6 chapters away from the midpoint, which means this might be a lot shorter than I was planning. Again, one of these days I will write a book or write a draft that is like above 70k. We're gonna stop, have some lunch. Then I'm thinking I might try and do after lunch. If I do a 60-minute sprint and a 45-minute sprint, then I can say I've done 15 hours this week, which would be insane. And I would hope that if I can get another like 2,000-ish average of both, because I think I can do more than that in the 60-minute, and I think I can definitely do that in the 45-minute. I could be closing in on 30k today, like for the not for the day, for Nano in general, and to like finish out the first week with 30,000 would be amazing. Because I'm going to start next week's vlog tomorrow on the Sunday, because I was thinking I started this vlog last Sunday, and then when I finish the book, hopefully I'll finish it before the last couple of days, and then I've got to think of something to put out the last week, maybe like a wind up of how it went. But I've also got, did I speak about this in my NaNoWriMo makeup video? I don't think I did. What I did last year is I wrote myself some little pep talk letters things, and I've still got them printed out because I haven't been able to make anything new this year. Well, I just didn't really feel like I needed to because I've got them. What I might do is tonight try and get those last few bits of writing in, update you guys on how it went, and then might open that letter kind of on camera. I won't read it out or anything because some of them are a bit more personal if I remember correctly. But it's like a little mini pep talk to see how I'm doing. Essentially it'd be going for a 10k day, or a bit more like 11k if I really want to hit 30,000. And then I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, because I picked up my laptop for work yesterday, and I've got like a docking station. I need to set it all up, make sure my cables are in correctly, which is then going to be completely turned on its head next week because I'm getting a new desk delivered, so I'm going to have to undo everything and re-plug it all back in. But the idea will be that I can switch between my home computer and my laptop in my monitor screens, so that I'm not having to just work on one laptop or have a screen that's just plugged in for work and not for when I'm at home. And I'm going to try and make it work so that both of my screens will work when I'm at work and when I'm not at work. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to see how that works for me next week, because this will be the first time in a long time I've had a genuine like start and end time. I think it's been like 2.5, it's been about 2 years I think since I had a job that had a specific start and end time. My current job, or I say my current job, the job I left yesterday used to have what they considered core hours. You have to have started work by 10 and you have to be there for a certain set of hours in the day, so your lunch break could happen within a certain time frame, whereas this job is starting at 9 and finishing at 5. And I think genuinely that the structure of that might make me feel a lot better. I feel like having the flexibility of your start time can be really, really beneficial for a lot of reasons. But for me, I think quite often it just meant that I didn't have any structure to my life. So I'm kind of hoping that having a 9 to 5, genuine 9 to 5, will give me a lot of structure. But what I'm thinking is that I'll have a proper hour lunch break. Now either I can take that hour as me time and maybe come away from the desk entirely, maybe sit in here and watch something, maybe do some crafting or something, play some piano, something to like twitch my mind off from it. Or if I get this set up right and it's easy to do, in my lunch break I could switch from my work laptop to my home computer and do like some writing or something like that. See how it works tomorrow when I set it all up, if it works tomorrow. That's the plan for today. If I can get another few sprints in, I'll update you guys, finish off the vlog here, and then I might spend some of this evening editing this vlog before I have my call with my family in the evening. And then tomorrow I will set up my desk and do the rest of my goals. I think I've got some learning things to do. I want to brush up on a couple of topics before I start work on Monday. I get this a lot with things. Same with writing. I get it with nearly everything I do. There's a slight kind of imposter syndrome going on in my head right now. The job I'm going into requires me to have studied a lot of stuff, and I have. I've done years of studying these particular things. But there's a part of me in the back of my head going, you don't know enough to do this job. And you're gonna turn up next week and you're gonna come unstuck and they're all gonna think you're an idiot. And I don't think that is the case. I think I know enough to at least hit the ground running, and then I can pick things up. I know I can, but there's just a part of me that's like, no, you're an imposter. You're gonna pretend your way into this job, and then they're gonna realise that you're not as good as you say you are. So that's a fun little discord to have with myself. That's helping. It's going to be a very interesting week next week. I don't know how I'm going to feel next week. I feel like the work is going to be different, and I know at least the first day is going to be pretty full on with like meeting people and trying to get to grips with training and stuff while doing everything remotely. There's a very good chance that I'm going to come out of it feeling really, really drained. So I don't want to push myself next week into trying to do everything the way I've done it this week. I don't want to try and require myself to do 15 hours of writing. I know it wouldn't be ideal to not write anything, but I think I need to allow myself some space. Try and get some stuff done today so that I don't have to worry so much about next week. Although having said that, I'm still at a fairly decent point. To hit Nano, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't write anything next week. To get anywhere near the Milwordy goal or the end of the draft, it probably would be. So I've had some lunch, and then I've gone to go and sit down in front of the computer, and there is absolutely no part of me that feels like I can write right now. In the last few writing days, quite often I've got to lunch, had a bit of a break, and then sort of felt like there was a bit of a second wind, or at least that I had something more to give. And I just can't right now. There is literally nothing in the well. It's not gonna go well. It won't come out right. It's gonna not. I did get something in the post as like a leaving present from work. It's a book on how to make sort of foam armour and stuff, but I think it's mainly designed for cosplay, but it's something you probably won't know because I probably haven't spoken about it. I've been to a couple of LARPs, which are live action role plays where you essentially make a character and go off into the woods and hit each other with foam swords and stuff. It sounds weird, but it's great fun. And me and one of my friends are thinking about sort of setting up a whole other faction when our characters are kind of done. And we've been thinking about like building ourselves like armour to wear, like out of EVA foam if we can make it look good. It might only be for decorative purposes, but my current character had her arm turned to stone. as one does. So I had to make myself like a little arm gauntlet thing that I might try and redo. Proper guides and stuff in here, and I'm super excited. Part of me just kind of wants to curl up on the sofa and read through it and like get like some sticky notes out and like post-it note where I want to maybe try things and then kind of do some tomorrow, but see how it goes. So yeah, I'm not writing anymore today. I can't make myself do it. We are finishing the week just short of 25,000. I think we're literally 30 words short of 25,000, but I can't even make myself do that. That isn't bad. I feel like I'm getting ready to beat myself up, but 5k in a day is still really, really good. And what I might do, because I'm kind of stopping now, I might try and do just like a couple of hours tomorrow. Not that I need to, but just, again, so I can make it a little bit easier on myself when I go to work on next week. I think what I might do, import the clips I have onto my computer and then start editing this video and then spend some time tonight reading through this and getting excited. And then they also gave me a gift voucher as well, which was just lovely. So kind of them all. I had my eye on a particular desk chair for a while, and I know that sounds really mundane and boring, but it's awesome, first off. And I spend most of my life at my desk. I'd like to have something like fun, and when I'm getting my new desk, I was thinking I should really look at getting a chair, and so I think I'm going to sign off on this vlog. So that was week 1. So I've got these little notes that I wrote myself last year. This is just week 1. I was looking at them, but I don't think I've got a week 3. I've got a week 1, a week 2, a week 4, and then I've got some like when you're feeling X kind of ones. I forgot I did this, so I'm not going to show the whole message, but I did little quotes and pictures at the bottom of them. I forgot that. So essentially this is just me telling me that this week is the easiest week, but to sort of set up a foundation and to write even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, which is making me feel a little bit bad about cutting out today, but I need to do it. So yeah, so that was week 1. Nothing to be sniffed at. 25k in a week. Pretty good. I am predicting I will slow down next week with the new job, but it might just be the way of things. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through on whatever rambly mess I've made this into, thank you very much. I do really give editing me a run for her money sometimes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.